Happy summer, everyone! Today, for the story of the day, I'm going to read to you the book, A Fine, Fine School. It is by Sharon Creech, and the illustrator is Harry Bliss. Now, there's some really great illustrations in there, and I'll make sure to get in and show you as much as I can. Mr. Keene was a principal who loved his school. Every morning, he strolled down the hallway and saw the children in their classes. He saw them learning shapes and colors and numbers and letters. He saw them reading and writing and drawing and painting. He saw them making dinosaurs and forts and pyramids. Oh, he would say, "Aren't these fine children? Aren't these fine teachers? Isn't this a fine, fine school?" Children and all the work that they're doing. There's the principal peeking into the classroom. Near Mr. Keene's school, Tilly lived with her parents and her brother and her dog Beans in a small house next to a big tree. So there's Tilly and her brother and their dog Beans. He's kind of silly. He does lots of silly things. On Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, Tilly went off to school. Look at that crazy school bus. Kids with spiders. She's reading a book. He's got his toys. Passing notes. At school, Tilly learned her shapes and colors and numbers and letters. Sometimes when she saw Mr. Keene standing in the hall, he waved. "Aren't these fine children?" he said to himself. "Aren't these fine teachers? Isn't this a fine, fine school?" So there's Mr. Keene peeking in the window and Tilly waving to him. On the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, Tilly climbed her favorite tree. "I'm stuck. Get help." There's Tilly climbing her tree. And she took Beans on walks and threw him sticks. "Let go now, Beans." And she pushed her brother on a swing and tried to teach him how to skip. Be one with the skip. But on Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, Tilly went off to school. Beans and her little brother did not like to see her go. "Hurry, hurry, hurry home," her brother called. So there they are, saying goodbye as she heads off to school. Look at Beans with his coffee cup. Silly dog. One day, Mr. Keene called all the students and teachers together and said, "This is such a fine, fine school. I love this school. I love this school so much. Let's have more school. From now on, let's have school on Saturdays too." The teachers and the students did not want to go to school on Saturdays, but no one knew how to tell Mr. Keene that. He was so proud of the children and the teachers and of all the learning they were doing every day. See, they don't look so happy, do they? Even the teachers are not excited. And so, on that Saturday, Tilly set off for school. "But it's Saturday. What about the swings?" her brother called. See, look at Beans. He's fertilizing the yard. The following month, Mr. Keene announced, "This is such a fine, fine school. I love this school. Let's have more school. From now on, let's have school on Sundays too." The teachers and the students did not want to go to school on Sundays, but no one knew how to tell Mr. Keene that. He was so proud of the children and the teachers and all the learning they were doing every day. See that banner in the back? "Why not study while you chew?" Up here. Look at the kids. They don't look so excited to be there. And so, that Sunday, Tilly set off for school. "But it's Sunday. What about the skipping?" her brother called. There they are. Beans reading a newspaper, drinking his coffee. Look at the squirrel in the tree. He's reading a magazine called Nuts. The following month, Mr. Keene called everyone together and said, "I love this school. It is such a fine, fine school. Let's have more school. From now on, let's have school on holidays too. On Easter and Ramadan and Thanksgiving and Christmas and Hanukkah, on all the holidays of every calendar." The teachers and the students did not want to go to school on holidays, but no one knew how to tell Mr. Keene that. He was so proud of the children and the teachers, of all the learning they were doing every day. See, they all have buttons. It says, "More school's way cool." Say yes to school. Easter Schmeaster. They don't look very excited. And so, on Christmas, Tilly set off for school. "But it's Christmas. What about Christmas?" her brother called. Look at Beans is giving her a present that says Tilly. And it says the best cartoons in the world start in 5 minutes. And she's leaving. They're all opening their presents. The following month, Mr. Keene called everyone together and said, "This is such a fine, fine school. I love this school. Let's have more school. From now on, let's have school in the summer too. All summer long, every single day." Look at this. Time in school, learning, and time at home, sleeping. Summer schedule. June is Science Month. July is Big Word Month. Summer school is cool. "How much we will learn," he said. "We can learn everything. We will learn about numbers and letters, colors and shapes, the Romans and the Egyptians and the Greeks. We will learn about dinosaurs and castles and everything. We will learn everything." The teachers and the students did not want to go to school on Saturdays and Sundays and holidays and all summer long, every single day, but no one knew how to tell Mr. Keene that. He was so proud of the children and the teachers of all the learning they were doing every day. Look at the kids. They don't look so happy. And then look at Mr. Keene. He's so proud. Look at this kiddo back here. She fainted. Oh boy. Will it ever end? And so, on the first day of summer, Tilly set off for school. "But it's summer. What about summer?" her brother called. See, there they are. She's going off. It says test today. Big test tomorrow. Look at Beans, lifeguard dog. July 4th, there's a lunch test. Oh boy. And that day, Tilly went to see Mr. Keene. She stood in his office in front of his desk. "What a fine, fine school this is," Mr. Keene said. "What amazing things everyone is learning." "Yes," Tilly said, "we certainly are learning some amazing things." "A fine, fine school," Mr. Keene said. "But," Tilly said, "not everyone's learning." She's pretty brave to go in and talk to him. "What?" Mr. Keene said. He looked very worried. Who isn't learning? Tell me, and I will see that they learn." Switch over here. "My dog Beans hasn't learned how to sit," Tilly said, "and he hasn't learned how to jump over a creek." "Oh," Mr. Keene said. "And my little brother hasn't learned how to swing or skip." "Oh," Mr. Keene said. Look, Beans is trying to help her brother learn how to swing. "And I," she said. "But you go to school," Mr. Keene said, "to our fine, fine school." "True," Tilly said. But I haven't learned how to climb very high in my tree. And I haven't learned how to sit in my tree for a whole hour. Oh, Mr. Keene said. Look at Beans and her little brother. This is skipping for little brothers. He's got to learn how to do it by himself, I guess. That day, Mr. Keene walked up and down the hallways, looking at the children and the teachers. Up and down he walked. Up and down, up and down. Look at these kiddos. They don't look very happy, do they? Oh, look, he's brushing his teeth at his locker. Oh boy, let's see what happens. He's got to fix something. Kids aren't enjoying school like he hoped. The next morning, Mr. Keene called everyone together. The children and teachers were very worried. Mr. Keene said, "This is a fine, fine school with fine, fine children and fine, fine teachers, but not everyone is learning." The children and the teachers were very, very worried. You see their faces, how worried they are? Look at the teachers back there. They look just as worried. Mr. Keene said, "There are dogs who need to learn how to sit and how to jump a creek." What did he mean? Was he going to make their dogs come to school? And he's writing on the board, it says, "I will not lick my classmates. I will not lick my classmates." There are little brothers and sisters who need to learn how to swing and how to skip. What did he mean? Was he going to make their younger brothers and sisters come to school too? The children and the teachers were very, very worried. Can you imagine having your little brother come to class with you? And you, all of you, children and teachers, you need to learn how to climb a tree and sit in it for an hour, Mr. Keene said. The children and the teachers were very, very worried. See how they're all standing in line waiting to climb the tree? And Mr. Keene says, 20 minutes to go. And so, from now on, we will, look at their faces. Oh no, they're so worried. What's going to happen now? Not have school on Saturdays or Sundays or holidays or in the summer. You gotta love it. They look much happier now, don't they? A huge, enormous, roaring cheer soared up to the ceiling and floated out the window so that everyone in town heard the fine, fine children and the fine, fine teachers shout out, "Fine, fine, fine." Look at, they're clinking their milk. They're cheering with their milk cartons. They're much happier now. And the fine, fine children and the fine, fine teachers lifted Mr. Keene up, and they carried him down the hallway and out the doors and through the town, up and down, in and out. And everywhere they went, the people said, "What a fine, fine school with such fine, fine teachers and fine, fine children and a fine, fine principal." Look, they are much happier now that they're staying in school the regular amount of time. Would you like to go to school that much? How about Saturdays and Sundays or in the summer? Yeah, I enjoy my time off too. So you guys enjoy. Hopefully you're enjoying reading all these books and you're reading some on your own too, so that when you come back to school in August, you can share with your class all the awesome things you've read.